I tell young producers all the time, please find a way to find a lane for yourself.
Yeah.
Just to be able to listen to a song like, I don't need a tag, I know who did that record.
You'll live to regret it. You'll live to regret the fact that if you miss something of your child's at a school, that's burnt into that child's mind forever. The flip side of it is, sometimes your family doesn't understand it. In order for us to eat like we've been eating, I gotta work.
Am I shooting 1,000 jumpers a day? Or I'm shooting 200 jumpers a day?
I see it as creating a situation where it can be prerequisites. Starting off with hip hop 101, just basics if you don't know anything about hip hop. Where it comes from, how it started, who are the major players. Let's learn about that first before we take it to the next level. Okay, the art of rhyme, because that's one section of hip hop, like just one. It's the art of rhyme, the great MCs, DJing, or the art of graffiti. I see it going there, just like jazz studies. You start with basic jazz studies, and then it went from 100 level to 200 level to by the time you're a senior, it's 400 level. So I see it going that route, just becoming its own curriculum by itself.
I read in an article one time that Pete Rock said that he did 25 beats a week. That's 1,000 jumpers a day. Am I shooting 1,000 jumpers a day? Or I'm shooting 200 jumpers a day? And so I started to come up with a thing called 30 before Thursday. I start on Monday, and my goal is to have 30 beats before Thursday. I would listen to every song on the record. So by the time another producer came along, they say, man, you took every great sample off of this record. There's nothing left.
So industry doesn't understand family, and family doesn't understand industry. If you say I gotta go to this recital, some cats are like, they can stay on the road all day and they can do this and they can studio all night, and which sometimes I still do, but they can just go leaps and bounds hard all year long without taking time off for themselves. And they can't even take time off for themselves, so they're not gonna be able to take time off for a family if they have one. The flip side of it is, sometimes your family doesn't understand it. In order for us to eat like we've been eating, I gotta work. And when you come from a 9-to-5 type culture, like North Carolina is, some people understand they go to work at 9, they do their job. 5 o'clock, they leave all that paper on work on their desk, they go home. But when it comes to hip hop and my job, it can be around the clock sometimes. I'm my own boss. Sometimes I have to tell myself to keep going. Sometimes, I don't know how to tell myself when to stop. But sometimes I'll be like, all right, it's enough. I'm not doing anything today. Nothing. You'll live to regret it. You'll live to regret the fact that if you miss something of your child's at a school, that's burnt into that child's mind forever. Forever and ever and ever. And that's a lesson I had to learn with my son. I wasn't ready for my son when he came. No 20-year-old is ready for a child. And I had to learn that lesson with him so I wouldn't make the same mistake. I mean, in the game, but I had to learn how much it means to be in a child's life. And I had to learn it with him. And then I got it right the second time and the third time. So that's the thing about it. You just have to make it to the point where you just say, yes, no, I don't care what you say. Because at the end of the day, you have to make your own decisions. And you don't want to have to live with it. And I think I've lived with the right ones. My biggest thing is I wanted to make beats, and I wanted to get paid for it. Whether it be $50 or, And I was happy with getting beats for $50 when I was getting them, I wasn't like, man, getting beats for $50. I'm like, man, I'm getting beats for $50. I'm banking, I made $500 a day off of sitting in front of this computer, just chopping up records. So, having the stuff I've gotten, I would never thought 10 years ago I would say I've gotten. I'm just blessed for it, and I just keep it moving. Jay-Z told me I put you on so you can put your people on, and so on. It's called paying it forward, and so on and so forth. And so that's what, I want to do. Just, he put me on, so now I want to put somebody else on. This is the program I've been running for the past 7 years. and you know, it did me fine. Not to say it's got going to be any valleys in it, but it, you know, some coaches have great seasons, some coaches have okay seasons. But you know, I can honestly say my past 7 seasons, we finished in the top 10. You know what I'm saying? And we are always a national contender. So that's the way I look at it, and that's what I want to instill in my artists.
You know, it's kind of a touchy topic because when I talk to younger producers, and I tell them this all the time, as time goes on, it's going to be harder for you to separate yourself from anybody else, unless you find a sound that nobody else is doing.
Right, right.
And you got producers when they put tags on beats or whatever, it's for 2 reasons: to brand themselves, and a lot of producers use the same sounds. No knock to them. That's what you want to do. That's what you want to do. But I tell young producers all the time, please find a way to find a lane for yourself.
Yep.
Just to be able to listen to a song like I don't need a tag. I know who did that record. And there's some, I'm saying a few. It's a lot out there that's doing that. You know, Kaytranada. Kaytranada has forged his own lane.
Right, right.
Flying Lotus has forged his own lane.
Right.
Like, there's so many, but then there's so many others that can forge their own lane. And it's like, man, if you just kind of want to step out on your own and make your own lane, or even make your own sound, or even do a sound that hasn't been done in 30 years, do that. Because now you got a bunch of kids who don't know. They
Right.
want to know. But yeah, the producer now has really, and I've seen so many posts from so many different people. Producer doesn't get the credit anymore. Producer doesn't do this. Producer, and that's usually how the younger generation feels. If you ask us, that's all we know. It's like, who did the beat? This who?
Right, right.
Who did the beat? So, and that can be to the point of, there's a lot of, you know, vinyl is coming. You know, I saw vinyl all in Target the other day, but vinyl is coming back. It's been back, and now there's no tangible object for us to read anymore. Who did the beat?
Right.
So it was something we loved to do in the 80s and 90s. So it's a beautiful day and it's a wonderful world, music. It's always smiles over here. We ain't got time for that, what we want to call NIGGASHIT. We don't have time for that over here, okay? All right.
I love you, babe. Dream of it. Instant replays, nights that we started. Brings me happiness. Stimulations for the sensation. Happens in the chest. And then, mysterious.
There it is. See, it's the groove in the record. What is that? It's all about the soul. It's all about the soul. That's a fun time. Let's bring them back out. He been asleep.
it back out. It's older but goodie right here. The one that people love and the one that people hate. The knife snare. 1, 2, 3, 4.